And we start with that breaking news. North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis announcing that he won't seek re-election in 2026. Thanks for joining us here for the news at 6. I'm Jane Monreal. Tillis sharing this statement with WCNC Charlotte, saying in part, he's beyond grateful for his time in Washington and is still committed to serving the people of North Carolina over the next 18 months. This all happening after Senator Tillis voted no in a procedural vote for the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Tillis released a statement saying he cannot support the measure in its current form because he says it would lead to tens of billions of dollars in lost funding for North Carolina. The Senate did vote to advance the bill. Now, after Tillis made that statement, President Donald Trump took to his Truth Social platform saying that he would not support Tillis's re-election campaign, and his decision to vote against the bill would be a mistake for North Carolina and the country. We have been hearing from political experts in our state in the aftermath of these developments, sharing their thoughts on Tillis's decision and what this means for the 2026 Senate race.
Not surprising that Senator Tillis, particularly after announcing that he was going to vote against the president's massive piece of legislation, and then the president coming out and basically threatening him with a primary challenge, it's not surprising that Senator Tillis decided not to run for re-election in a highly competitive and divisive environment that we'll see in 2026.
I'm now joined by Democratic Senate candidate Wiley Nickel. Thanks for joining me this evening. First of all, Mr. Nickel, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Jane.
Well, what was your immediate reaction to hearing this news, knowing that you were possibly looking ahead at facing Tillis in the general election next year?
I mean, my initial reaction is no matter which MAGA loyalist Donald Trump handpicks to run in North Carolina, I'm the Democrat ready to take him on and win. We're focused on making sure we flip this Senate seat from red to blue, and that's our task now. And whoever Donald Trump handpicks is going to be someone completely loyal to Donald Trump, not to North Carolina, and that's very dangerous for our democracy.
So how does your campaign strategy change, if it does at all, moving forward now that you're looking at what likely will be an open seat race?
No, I mean, I think when you have a U.S. Senate seat that's an open seat, it's much more competitive than it already is for North Carolina, a true 50-50 purple state. So that makes a big difference. But for me, this is the kind of race that I won to get elected to Congress. In the last Congress, we flipped one of just 6 Republican seats from red to blue against Donald Trump's hand-picked candidate 2 years ago. So this is something very familiar for me, and we've done it once, ready to do it again. And that's the choice that voters are going to have. I'm excited to do all I can to make sure we hold Donald Trump accountable and make sure that we flip this seat.
Let's talk about the events leading to this announcement. We saw President Trump's statements aiming at Tillis after he voted against moving the administration's package, the reconciliation package, forward. Your thoughts of how this intra-party conflict within the Republican Party might affect the general election, and how do you think the bill, if it's passed in its current form, will impact North Carolinians?
No, I think it's definitely worth noting that Thom Tillis's decision didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened because he wasn't willing to be 100% loyal to Donald Trump and doing anything and everything he told him. But the reality is we've got a really bad bill here, and it's bad for North Carolina working families. It's great if you're a billionaire. You're going to make tons and tons of money off these tax cuts. But I think that's something that I'm going to continue talking about and have been. We have a bill that has just advanced in the Senate that will knock out over 500,000 North Carolinians from Medicaid coverage. That's horrible for our state. It's going to add trillions of dollars to our national debt, the deficit. It is absolutely horrible for our state. And, the beneficiaries of this bill are going to be billionaires who will save tons on their taxes. That's not good for our state.
Wiley Nickel, thanks for joining us live here tonight on WCNC Charlotte. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, Shane.
All right, be sure to tune in to Live Impact News all day tomorrow on WCNC Plus. I'll be back there in the studio starting at 9 in the morning. We're going to continue tracking the latest on Tillis's last term, getting insight from political experts here across the Carolinas.